Belt,
Present.
Rife,
Present.
Johnson,
Present.
Reinbold,
Present.
Langer,
Present.
Norvstrup, present, Mayor Shoneman.
Present. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Our first order of business tonight will be to approve this meeting's agenda as printed. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson, second from Councilman Reinbold. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We'll move along to our approval of the minutes for our previous meeting, which occurred on February 21st. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Reinbold, second from Councilwoman Liebelt. Any changes or notes to make on any of the printed minutes? All right then, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. No one has offered to speak at our open forum, so we'll move along to our consent calendar where we've got 5 items of routine city business, most notably a whole bunch of plats here today, but also reports and minutes, and setting a couple of hearing dates and advertisements for bids. Can I get a motion to approve our consent calendar?
Moved.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilwoman Liebelt. Anyone from the council have anything on any of these agenda items under our consent calendar? All right then, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion does carry. Thank you for joining us here, Rod. Have a nice night. Next, we'll move along to our new business where we've got a public hearing and possible first reading of an ordinance titled 230201, which in effect rezones properties described as lots 11 through 15 at lot 25 at Roaches East Side Addition at 2401 3rd Avenue Southeast from an R3 district to a C1 district. As Brett Bill is not here tonight, I see Ken Hubbard will gladly tell us about what's going on with that item of new business. Ken?
The petitioner is requesting to rezone this property from residential to C1 neighborhood commercial in order to bring the property into a district that will allow for the operation of a coffee shop. On February 9th, a special exception was granted by the Board of Zoning Adjustment to permit a drive-up window for a permitted retail or service establishment at this location. And the petition to rezone and proposed use were also approved by the Aberdeen Planning Commission on February 21st, 2023. Staff recommends approval of this request.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second that.
I've got a motion from Councilman Johnson and a second from Councilwoman Liebelt. Any questions for the Planning and Zoning Commission? All right, go ahead, Councilman
Mayor.
Johnson.
Is this intended to be a renovation of the existing property or a rebuild?
No, the existing house and residence or house and garage will be removed and new construction.
Thank you. Justin?
Is there gonna be enough room with setbacks and everything?
It meets all the zoning requirements for setbacks. We did work with the owners to adjust the approach locations to ease congestion there at the intersection.
Okay, that was my next question. Thank you.
Anyone else from the council have any points to discuss on this rezone? All right then. Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Thanks for the information, Ken. We'll move along to our possible extension of expiration dates of cannabis dispensary permits. And here to tell us about that is our own city attorney, Ron Weger. Ron?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On January 19th, I sent out a letter to our 6 cannabis dispensary permittees to let them know that their 1 year was coming up for them to show active operations of their businesses, and asked them to get a hold of me and let me know how they are coming. And the reason for that was we had seen that there was a delay in most of the permittees for the state registration certificates that were issued. And wanted to find out if they thought they would be able to meet the ordinance requirement of active operation by the expiration of their permits. And what I heard back was that they would not likely be able to make that. And so what you see before you is a request to extend the permit expiration dates. We have identified within the council action request the various permit issuance dates and the state registration certificate dates. And so we just asked that the council agree to extend the 6 permits to coincide with their state registration certificate expiration dates. So it does a couple things. It gives them a little more time in light of the delays in the rollout of the cannabis dispensary program. And secondly, it allows us to hereafter sync those renewals with the state's renewals as well. So it just works for everybody involved.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilwoman Langer and a second from Councilman Ronayne. And so the motion itself will be to adjust the city permit issuance date to the same to match their respective state issuance certificate date. And that's what we're voting on here tonight.
Correct.
All right, any questions for the city attorney on this one? All right, then all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion does carry. Thank you, Ron. Next, we've got our recommendations on bids for the following public works department items, as well as to authorize the city manager and finance officer to sign those necessary items. I've got 3. I'm going to rattle through them, and I'll kick it over to Robin to fill in the details. First is a road oil bid of $969.53 per ton to, is it Jebro Incorporated. We've got a possible approval to award aggregates bid option A in the amount of $122,500, which is P-Rock, as well as crushed granite in the amount of $95,220 to Jensen Rock and Sand. And thirdly, we've got possible approval to award bituminous surfacing repair mix bid item number 1 in the amount of $17,500 to Jensen, and asphaltic concrete mix items 3 and 4 in the amount of $922,500 to Jensen Rock and Sand. All that being said, Robin, would you fill us in with those details, please?
Okay, typically we don't get any bids on the MC oil, and then we have to go out and seek somebody to fulfill that need. This year we did get a bid. This is the only bid, and as you can see, it's a fair bit higher than what we paid last year for the same material. So we're recommending the approval of Jebro's bid. I don't know if you want to do one at a time, or do you want to do, how do you want to do that?
Why don't you just run us through all 3, and then if we have any points to clarify, or if people have...
The third one, maybe we do the first 2, and then the third one's I'm gonna throw a curve at you, so. The second one, the low bid on the P-Rock and crushed granite for the seal coating operation, both low bids were provided to us by Jensen Rock and Sand. So we recommend both bids, Jebro and Jensen Rock and Sand, for those 2 materials, and I think that's probably a good spot to take action.
All right, that sounds good. Well, then in that case, I would take a motion to approve the following first 2 bids. We've got Jebro and Jensen for $969 per ton, which looks like it amounts to about $533,000 in total, as well as Jensen Rock and Sand $122,500 and $95,220 for P-Rock and crushed granite, respectively. Someone care to carry that motion for me?
Move to approve the first 2.
Second.
A motion from Councilman Reinbold and a second from Councilman Norvstrup covering items C, 1, and 2. And does anyone have any particular questions for Robin on these? Go ahead, Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. Just looking at the road oil first, the 19% increase comes out to about $86,000 above what we paid last year and the budget can flex and accommodate that.
We do have a little room in the budget at this point. Typically, that's one of those later year decisions. We look to see how much room we've got, and we try to adjust our additional work that we do late in the fall with what we've got left in the budget. We try not to overspend, so.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the council? All right, then Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote on new business C, items 1 and 2?
Councilmember Norvstrup.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Rife.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Now back to Robin to talk to us about item number 3, which
Okay, the item number, this one, the curveball I'm gonna throw you is, the way we wrote the spec this year, on the advice of our esteemed city attorney, was that we try to make sure that we allow for even the higher bid. Typically, we get 2 bids. We allow for even the higher bid to be considered as a valid bid. We've asked for that in the past. You've approved it in the past, but this allows for it in a more formal fashion. So the recommendation should have read that we accept all bids from the contractors, and we will utilize the low contractor, Jensen Rock and Sand, when they're available. But there are a lot of times where their plant is not up and running, and we can't shut our street department down for 2 weeks. Well, there's just not enough time in the year to get everything done. So we will typically go to the second bidder, and they will gladly supply to us. So the recommendation actually is accept all bids for the asphalt patching materials.
I'll move that.
And I'll second.
got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilman Johnson. So in practice, no one gets a giant check. They get paid for the product as they supply it.
Correct.
And is that how it works with item C1 as well for the oil?
Yes. It's by the ton, in all of these cases, whatever they supply, whatever we've requested they supply, they get paid for that amount.
All right, any further questions? from
Do we
the
have to
council?
vote to change that in some way?
No,
No? Okay.
as long as that's the original motion, which I hope it will be.
Okay.
Well, we've got our motion and our second, and the intent upon that was to allow for both bids. So Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote to accept all bids submitted for the bituminous surfacing repair mix?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Liebelt.
Aye.
Rife.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Norvstrup.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got recommendations on bids for the following engineering department items and projects, as well as to authorize the necessary signatures. We've got, first off, a possible approval to award annual concrete bid in the amount of $158,434.60 to CWF Masonry and Construction. Second, we've got a possible approval to award the accessible sidewalk quadrant improvement projects bid in the amount of $79,236.80, also to CWF Masonry. And third, the possible approval to award the street maintenance concrete repair 1 project bid in the amount of $266,636 to Wright and Sudlow. Go ahead, Robin, with those when you're ready.
Okay, the first one, the annual concrete work, that is, as things come up over the course of the year, perhaps a sidewalk hasn't been put in by a property owner, we have to do it on a safety basis. This is the contract we would utilize to install that, so the work can be done in a timely manner. It's a unit price contract. There again, the contractor is only paid for the work that they do. It's not based on the total dollar amount, it's based on the amount that's bid for each bid item that's being utilized. And we do recommend CWF. As you can see, the bids were very close and they were slightly below engineer's estimate. The second one, which is the accessible sidewalk quadrant improvements, this is the one where you have budgeted or allowed a budget of 200,000. This is one where we will fully maximize. We don't try to save money on this. We want to get all the work done that we can possibly get done as part of this project. So we will push that as close to the 200,000 as we can. Once again, the bids were close to each other and they were below engineer's estimate. Once again, we recommend CWF for that one. The third one is the curb and gutter work that we typically do as part of our seal coating street maintenance project. Wright and Sudlow was low on this one in the amount of $266,636, just slightly above the engineer's estimate, but both bidders were very close to each other. That's very indicative of a very competitive bid. So we're pleased with the way the bids came that close, and we recommend Wright and Sudlow for the CONC 23-1 project.
I'll move to accept all bids.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilman Johnson. Any questions for Mr. Bob Zena on any of these? All right, then, Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Thank you very much, Robin. Appreciate it. Next item to discuss here will be the presentation for the Aberdeen Area Convention and Visitors Bureau's 2022 year-end review with Casey Wisemantle, their director. I see him back there. Casey, make sure the little green light is on so that we can hear you. Welcome.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. Again, that time of year, 2022 in review, I did provide packets to you all tonight, so you can kind of follow along. And these are also loaded to our website for your guys' review prior to the meeting, or really any time you want to check out that information. We try to keep it up to date. Looking at 2022, in your packet, I gave you kind of a table of contents to discuss tonight: vacation advertising, hunting advertising, vacation hunting, social media, vacation hunting analytics, the occupancy fee, SIC codes, Aberdeen area events, and then what do the visitors think of Aberdeen, which I think you'll find enlightening. Vacation marketing, the Aberdeen CVB markets to the visitor outside of a 100-mile radius, and we push that as far as we can. We use a combination of direct, paid, and organic marketing. You can see for print marketing, we had 20 campaigns garnering just under 13 million impressions. Digital marketing, we had 4 campaigns, 1.7 million impressions. That was paid and organic marketing. Video marketing, 2 campaigns, 4 million impressions, paid and organic. Email marketing, 26 campaigns, 18.7 million impressions, 23% open rate, and just under a 1% click rate. Industry standard being 19% and 1%. And all of that is organic marketing on behalf of the CVB. Hunting marketing, 2022 in review, we market Aberdeen as a destination for pheasant hunters to plan their trip, to come to Aberdeen and enjoy the outdoors and spend their money. We use the combination of direct, paid, and organic marketing as well. Print marketing, 8 campaigns, almost 1.5 million impressions. Digital marketing, 4 campaigns of 1.2 million impressions, that's paid and organic. Video marketing, 1 campaign, 1.7 million impressions, 16,000 social media reach, that's paid and organic as well. Email marketing, 12 campaigns, 2.6 million impressions, 33.6 open rate, and 1.5 click rate. And again, that is all organic marketing on behalf of the CVB. Vacation social media. Obviously, Facebook is still the platform of choice. We do Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We do some Facebook Reels as well. A lot of that is outside of my scope of expertise. That's Catherine in our office, who does an excellent job doing that. She's Joe's favorite. But she does an amazing job with the social media. But Facebook is still our platform of choice. when it comes to vacation marketing. And as you can see for hunting as well, Facebook again is the platform of choice. Facebook on vacation, garnering 7 million, almost 7.7 million impressions for vacation, and almost 3 million impressions for hunting. And again, this is comparing 2022 to 2021, so we're kind of comparing year to year to see if we can see an increase, high or low. Website analytics for vacation. New users saw a 2.2 increase. Sessions, we saw a 4.27 increase. Page views, 2.6 increase. Users themselves, almost a 5% increase. And sessions per user saw a 2% increase. Unique page views, excuse me, almost a 4% increase over last year. So as you can see, people are finding the information on our website, they're engaging our website, and they're returning to capture that information again. So that's good to see. Hunt Fish website analytics again. New users saw 37.5% increase. Sessions saw almost a 21% increase. Page views, almost a 92% increase. Users themselves, 41% increase. Sessions per users was down 12%. And unique page views was up almost 21%. Why do you see those differences there? We kind of switched our tactics a little bit last year. We wanted to engage those visitors and hunters on the front side even earlier while they're making those vacation plans or those hunting plans. We want to be in front of them while they're making those designated plans on where they're going to go vacation, where they're going to go hunt for 2022. So we saw an increase there, and we were happy with that. So we're going to engage that again in 2023. Occupancy fee, that's a $2 tax that's added to hotel rooms when visitors come to Aberdeen and spend the night. It's our best way to gauge visitors that are actually coming to the area. We track it for a 12-month period. We track highs and lows. We try to run a 10-year average as well. And then we try to engage which is a high month throughout the years. What relates to that? Is it events? Is it weather? Is it the availability of hotels? All of that can come into play. But again, that occupancy is a $2 fee added to hotels. Often hotels are rented for events, tournaments, reunions, family events, conventions. Normal occupancy can run anywhere from 1 to 3.5 people. The occupancy fee was down almost 1% over last year. What could contribute to that? Various events, or it could be weather related. An ice storm in November definitely does not help our chances, and the white snow on the ground doesn't help our chances as well. But we're overall happy with the occupancy fee being relatively flat versus what we had to work with. SIC codes, those are taxable receipts that we track. Those are receipts that the city turns into the state. So as we track the occupancy as the visitors that are actually coming to the area, the SIC codes, the taxable receipts, we track the money that's being spent in the area. We track eating, drinking, and lodging, basically the Triple B fund. It gives us our best way to gauge where the city is at when it comes to money being spent. We were up 4.06% over last year, so there was money being spent in the community. The SIC codes, taxable receipts, the residents are included in this as well. But again, that's money that's circulating in the community based on what we gauge as the Triple B or the promotional fund. Excuse me. Aberdeen area events, notable events for 2022. Aberdeen Swim Club hosting tournaments, State B basketball, the travel and sports shows that we attend on behalf of the CVB, Hub City soccer tournaments, High School Clay Target Championship, USA BMX, Girls State Hockey, the NSIC Outdoor Track and Field event, State Karting Championships, Special Olympics, Storbeck Land Festival, Arts in the Park, Family Fun Weekend, Brown County Fair, Slislin Summer Nights, and the Summer Concert Series. Not all of these are hosted by us, but we have a hand in helping, whether it's promoting, providing visitor bags, providing name tags, providing information on caterers, information on hotels, You name it, we somehow have a handprint or a thumbprint in that. Notably, my favorite part of the page, what do the visitors think of Aberdeen? Seeing my grandkids' eyes and the reactions to so many things there are to see and do in Aberdeen. Kim from Sauk Rapids. There's enough to keep my kids busy all day. Amy from Buffalo. Family-friendly environment. The kids can run and play. Well-kept, beautiful parks. We appreciate the budget-friendly rides at Wiley Park and Storybook Land. Thank you, thank you. Aberdeen has always been a beautiful place and a wonderful town to shop. Keep up the good work, Scott from North Dakota. Dakota Prairie Museum is a must-see for anyone with children. Francesca from Aberdeen. So there's even some local traffic. You know, I think sometimes people take for granted what Aberdeen has to offer and might need a refresher. This trip is for my grandchildren and to have a great weekend and make memories of a lifetime. They call me Adventure Grandma. That's Julie from Des Moines. This is Disneyland for South Dakota, only better because it's free. Joan from Wahpeton. Levity was a nice addition since the last time we visited and a lot of fun. Stephanie from Mitchell. I did not throw that in there, David, just for you, but it did make the list. You know, so that's us in a nutshell. We're keeping our foot on the gas for the Aberdeen CVB, pushing hard for 2022, trying to utilize our funds as best as possible, and trying to utilize the talent that we have in-house. And, you know, we're taking that information, what we learned, what worked, what didn't, and we're pushing it forward to 2023 and making adjustments and moving from there. So that's what I have for you tonight. I want to be respectful of your time, but if anybody has any questions.
Casey, what format do the people provide these statements?
The feedback?
Yeah.
We conveniently place that when people request information, when they request a visitor guide from us, we ask them a question, you know, have you been to Aberdeen before? What brings you to Aberdeen? What are you looking forward to most? And we leave it in their hands, what they want to type in. So it's just a good way to gauge, to put your finger on the pulse of the true visitors that are coming to the area. When Cindy in our office gets a good one, she runs around the office and lets everybody know. So, yeah. Yes, Alan. Oh, sorry.
Hey, great report, Casey. Many positives here, and especially impressed with your engagement with hunters. You said that you went after them earlier on the calendar this year.
Yep.
When on the calendar did you previously, and what month did you trigger it this year?
You know, based on some information we got from previous agencies that we've worked with, a lot of these agencies they don't live and breathe Aberdeen like we do, so they don't quite understand the importance of what that brings to the community. You know, and hunting season traditionally doesn't start until October, the traditional state pheasant opener. So, you know, so they're looking to push that advertising message June, July. Those guys have already made their plans. So we're pushing out those efforts in January, February, and basically pushing it all year long. Because while we're at the travel shows in Sioux Falls or Pheasant Fest or Fargo or Bismarck, whether they're picking up a vacation guide or a hunting guide, either way they have to go back and make plans. So we want to be there on the front side. It seems to be, on our end, it seems to be working out well.
Yeah, evidently it did. Well, great job. Congratulate your staff.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Casey. I appreciate you providing also these charts that showcase the specifics that you mentioned, the SIC codes and the occupancy tax and so forth. That's really good information to kind of drive home.
Yeah.
All the questions I was going to ask are covered there, so awesome. I've got nothing else. Anybody
and if there is ever anything that you're looking forward that we're not providing, please reach out to us. We have city council liaisons that come to our meetings. Please reach out to them, and we'll try to capture the information. You know, looking forward to 2023, we have a busy year in front of us, and we're super excited to that. So, you know, we want to shade a few gray areas that Mark highlights, and we want to bold a few more boxes. So we're excited.
How about for upcoming events? Now
I have that. Or no, I don't have that.
You showed the ones that we had last year. A majority of these will be happening again, I expect.
Yes and no. Some of them are repeats. You know, but we just got done hosting state gymnastics a few weeks back. Travel shows are mixed in there as well. We have State B basketball right on the cusp. AAU wrestling tournament that is going to be a citywide sellout. For the month of April, we get to exhale a little bit and regroup, and then we hit the ground running hard. We co-op with Parks and Rec. We meet with them monthly to find out what's on their radar, what can we help promote with. But the biggest thing is late May and June. I'm super excited for that. We're hosting the South Dakota High School Activities girls softball tournament, first ever. 3 classes coming to Aberdeen, first weekend in June. Followed immediately by clay target trap shooting down at the gun club. 950 kids last year shooting trap. Followed by the following weekend of state swim meet, followed by the following weekend of a soccer meet. So we're excited to see what we can offer. There's a few bids out there that we still want to get on our end, but in order to host events, you have to have a place to house them. And in order to build more housing, you have to bring more events. So we're trying on both ends.
Thank you, Casey. Anyone else?
I have.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Do you ever? I'm sure you don't, but do you ever get any rude or mean comments?
Every once in a while.
I think you should make a video and read them like Jimmy Kimmel's mean tweets. I think
Make
that'd be
the
a
top
good,
10 list
yeah,
or something.
be a good promo.
No, and like I said, it's good to hear firsthand. When Catherine and I go to the sports shows, vacation shows, and hunting shows, and you're sitting behind a table, but you're talking to those people firsthand, and they really do truly appreciate what Aberdeen has to offer. We just got back from State Tourism Conference, and they don't ever want you to use the word family friendly or affordable, but that describes Aberdeen. I mean, we are very family friendly, and let's be honest, for families with a budget or grandparents that bring the kiddos, it's very affordable as well. So, anybody else?
I think you did a great job presenting here, Casey.
Thank
Appreciate
you
you
all. Appreciate it.
coming in and providing all this information. With that, we will move along to our review and approval of our claims and payroll. The bills for this week, obviously, February 27th. Payroll is for the period of February 12th through February 25th. Can I get a motion to pay the bills?
Move to approve the bills and payroll.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson, second from Councilman Reinbold. Jordan, would you give us a roll call on that, please?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Finally, we have our city manager's report. Joe, what have you got for us this evening?
Well, I've got to talk about something I don't want to talk about because it involves snow, and I just kind of decided that I was done talking about snow. But, we had a little more last week, and sometimes people ask, why does the city have right-of-way in front of residences, even in business districts and certain places? And you're finding out why. It gives us a place to put the snow. We are maximizing that this year, more so than we have in years past. So we're seeing that those right-of-ways are getting full. And then also we pile up what's on the end of our driveways there. And that's okay as long as we don't go too tall. And I'm saying this because our phones were inundated today and a little bit Friday from citizens who aren't real proud of how their neighbors are moving their snow, might be a good way to put it. So be careful where you're stacking that it's not getting too tall and creating some site obstructions. And just as a general rule, you're not allowed to move your snow to someone else's property, whether it be the city right away, on your neighbor's side of the street. That seems to be a popular complaint today, because then you usually don't push it as far back as the plows will. And then they'll grab a hold of that when they go by, and it goes in your neighbor's driveway, and they're really upset about that. So try and keep your snow on your own property. And also remember that you cannot throw your snow in the street, because that's also going to end up somewhere down the street. This sounds like almost a comedy routine, but these are real life complaints that our public works director and city engineer wanted me to share with you, because we really were getting lots of calls. So we think we might have a little more snow this week. I don't want it. I don't agree to it at all. But please, we might have to start putting our snow in different places on our properties, but our neighbors right away or across the street or anything is not the proper place. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. With that, I would take a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Northrup and a second from Councilwoman Langer. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.